Back Road Ministry, the world premiere, Mr. Mockley coming back at you live and direct. So we had another shooting the other day. I didn't know anything about it. I was hearing mixed stories. First, I was at work. Somebody had brought up there was a shooting in Las Vegas. So I thought someone that was the mass shooting was in Las Vegas. I didn't know it was in New York. I didn't know until later on the day that that's where the shooting took place. So one of my friends called me and said, "Hey, we gotta look at this and kind of dissect it because it was a lot of things that he saw." So the story is that a Manhattan high rise. They're talking about the Manhattan high rise shooting victims from Fox News. From Fox News. So one was a police officer. One was a Blackstone executive. One was a security guard, and four people all in total. Four people were killed. And it's the gentleman here just walking down the street casually with a weapon, because that's just New York. Nobody pays attention to those type of things. Not even the police that are in New York. But that's neither here nor there. So the story tells us, and I went to Fox News because as I saw Fox News, you always see with news outlets like Fox, they are set it up. They belong to an organization. They are connected to the crew, and they have to put out the information. So that's their job at Fox News. They are pretty much puppets of the organization. So the story is four people were killed when a gunman stormed into a New York City skyscraper. This guy is casually walking. It doesn't look like he's storming anywhere. It looked like he just walked into a New York City skyscraper. And this all happened at the end of the business day on Monday. An off-duty New York City Police Department officer was caught in a crossfire. Security guard was caught in the crossfire. And then we'll go to the targets. A Blackstone executive and a Rudin employee. A Blackstone executive and a Rudin employee. So Blackstone, and we got the name of the Blackstone executive here, Wesley LePetner. Wesley LePetner was the Blackstone executive. And it was actually a lady executive killed in New York shooting, a mom of two. So she was the person who was murdered, Wesley LePetner. And we'll get her age. So here's the Blackstone website. So Blackstone is the world's largest alternative asset manager with more than $1 trillion in AUM. It invests in dynamic sectors such as data centers. Get more on this Blackstone. Open this up, I'm sorry. And we were more about them. We were reading about them. We were about what we do. See if it's more in the overview. Yeah, so Blackstone is the world's largest alternative asset manager with more than $1 trillion in AUM. We serve institutional and individual investors by building strong businesses that deliver lasting value. Our scale with 12,500 plus real estate assets, 250 plus portfolio companies enable us to invest in dynamic sectors positioned for long-term growth. So basically these are guys who invest in, New York is building up, so they invest in things like that. But this is an investment company, so they're doing trillions of dollars worth of investments. So always the question is, why then is Miss Wesley gone? Why is Miss Wesley LePetner gone. A person who worked for this company, and we always talk about the Manchurian Candidate, and the activation of Manchurian candidates. We hear this story of these strange scenarios where people just end up somewhere with guns, trying to shoot people. And this guy just casually walking down the street, and they say he came from Las Vegas, which, there's a lot of cities in between where he was in Las Vegas just to go into this building where Miss LePatner was. And we're going to pull up when we do our work. But she was one of the victims that worked at Blackstone. We had another victim. We'll pull up one more that worked for a company called Rudin that was in that building. And Rudin is all about office and residential properties. Remember, New York is building up. So we're talking about sky rights. New York does a lot of things with sky rights. It's not about land, it's about the sky in New York and these sky rights. So Rudin Management offers residential and office space in New York City. Learn about their visionary project service in the history in the real estate industry. So this is another real estate company. And see, they just so happen to have a building at 40 East 52nd Street and 345 Park Avenue. So the building on 345 Park Avenue was owned by Rudin. And this is the young lady, the Rudin, another woman, a Rudin employee, Julia Hyman, that was shot at the Midtown building. So the 345 Park Avenue building is the Rudin building. That's their building. Okay? So here's the other victim, a Cornell graduate, Julia Hyman. Julia Hyman. Okay. So let's dissect the story. Let's dissect the story. We're going to tear this one apart, and it's going to be real easy. It's not even going to be hard work. So we know 4 people were killed. That's the first part of the story. So we got 4 people that were killed. Off-duty police officer, we're moving over that. So what's the first things that it gives us? So the things that stand out. We know Blackstone is a big-time investment corporation. We know that got trillions of dollars in investment. And we know one of their executives, meaning this person has information, classified information. She knows where the money moves, is dead. And the Rudin employee is also dead. But they say she might have gotten the wrong get up later. We'll check on that. So the first part of this. So first things first that stand out. We know that the 345 Park Avenue building is a Rudin building based on the Rudin employee and what we just read. If you take 3, 4, 5, add them together. 3 plus 4 plus 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. And we know that 12 is a number of completion. We've talked about that a great deal. The next number they give us is 52nd Street, where this building was. And we know that 52 is what? The number of prophecy. 52. Remember, this has all been about prophecy and them tying their prophecy together. And somehow, maybe this Blackstone, all this is just opinion, maybe this Blackstone employee was getting in the way of prophecy. So we already see they're saying that this is prophecy. This is supposed to happen. This is prophecy. This mission is complete. So they're giving you the number of completion. They're communicating. This is complete. We did the task. We got whoever we were supposed to get, and we fulfilled the prophecy. That's why the 52 is there. That's why this took place. This ritual took place in this building. What else do we got? I'm trying to get this to move. We're having some technical issues. Let me get this out the way. All right, so the accused gunman, identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, which we will look at, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So you already know it's BS. Usually when these people are possibly Manchurian candidates, they sometimes don't seem to survive. You ever know that? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Or, they might just be the patsy. Who knows? This is all just opinion. But we see the number 27, and 27 is always affiliated as the number when a lot of young people died. We talk about that being a sacrifice number, 27, and we'll look at that. Plus, we talk about the 27 being the Knights Templars number when it came to the Trump ritual after the shooting of the fireman. So we see he's 27 years old. So they're telling you, he's connected to the organization. And he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So you can't ask him any questions. Pretty much he's gone. You can't question him. Whatever took place, wherever he was here, wherever he was there, died with him. So the next thing they give us is who's behind the shooting. And what do we see? Self-inflicted gunshot wound on the what floor? The 33rd floor. And for those who've been dealing with me for a long period of time, when we see that number, we know who produced this this film. This is a checkerboard board production. So when you see 33, he just so happened to shoot himself on the 33rd floor. This is a checkerboard board production. They pretty much have communicated to us that they're behind this. They were gunning for somebody in that building, and they got their target, whoever they were gunning for. But Fox News can't help themselves. They go even further. Tamara, and now the gun, they said, Tamara, he's from Las Vegas, so he passed all these other cities. Tamara obtained a AR-15. And you remember now, when we were doing years ago, Children of Israel, talked about the AR-15 code. And the AR-15 code is the code you look at in these stories to see when these stories might be staged, rigged, and put together. And this is more of a staged assassination story because they always put the AR-15 in there. So here's the AR-15 code kind of telling you that this was one of their soldiers. Tamar was one of their soldiers, one of their operatives, possibly a Manchurian candidate that they turned on for this mission. Well, as I said, this is just my opinion. Then they keep going because they just can't help themselves. The NYPD officer who got shot, Duderall Islam, as among those killed. Islam, he happened to be 33 too. So is he a checkerboard boy too? Is he a part of the checkerboard boy production, or is he a sacrifice for whatever had to take place? Okay. And he worked in the NYPD's what precinct? The 47th precinct. 47, the number of foundation. You see all the checkerboard boy information that they put in the story. So they're basically telling on themselves. And as I said before, they can't help themselves. They have to put it out there that, hey, whatever mission we had to do or whoever we had to take care of, they're taken care of. Checkerboard boys handle their own business. And even to the point of sacrificing a police officer to do this, which is a sad part of this, very sad part of this. So we got checkerboard board stuff written all over this story, all over the story. All right, hopefully my codes hold. We having problems. My phone is doing whatever, and it kicked out everything I put in. There's a lot of loading going on my phone. It's not even giving date numerology. All right, so this story took place, this situation happened on 7/28, and I apologize. Phone doing this thing. But this happened on 7/28/25. 7/28/25. Hopefully I can get what I'm looking for. It's a lot of loading going on. I'm getting no movement. The phone is doing what it wants to do, not what I want it to do. All right, so there we go. All right, so this happened on 7/28/25. Let's pull up our date numerology if the phone gives it to us. Trying to find the date numerology for that day. Where is it at? Instead, it wants to give us Walt Disney stuff. We don't want Disney. Now, see how we got blocked off all of a sudden? We had pretty much everything set up, and then suddenly the block came. I wonder why. Here we go. So 7/28/25 was a day with 80 numerology, 44 numerology, which is a kill code, 26 numerology, 26 is the God number, 60 numerology, 24 numerology, 209 numerology, and 156 numerology, 35, 62, 42, the Negro number, of course. So that's our numerology. But you see it right off the bat, 44 the kill code. 44 the kill code. So when we go to kill is 44, 17, 24, and 28. So that's why that took place on the 28th, because the kill code in that day was the 28th. So 7/28/28, the kill code. He was activated on the day with the kill code to accomplish the mission. Remember, we're still in the time of death, the number of death 20, 25, and 38. So we know we got that. Remember, his name was Tamora. Tamora is 20 and 43. Death 20, Tamora 43. And look at Tamora is also 88. Trump 88. Tamora 43. 43 is the 14 prime number. So we got a 43 in there. We'll look at that a little bit closer. This happened in Midtown. Midtown 35, 37. Remember, 37 is the 12 prime. Remember, 3, 4, 5, where the shooting took place, equal to 12, the number of completion. So this happened in a place of completion, Midtown, and we'll look at that a little bit closer. All right, so Midtown, Tamura, death, kill, a part of that. Blackstone, we had the Blackstone employee that was shot. Blackstone 30 and 60. And remember, this was a day with 60 numerology. See the numerology for the day? The Blackstone employee just happens to be killed on a day with 60 numerology. As we talked about earlier, the energy must match for any ritual that's going to take place. The energy must match up. This was a Rudin building, so we know 345 Park Avenue was a Rudin building. That was a Rudin building. And Rudin is what? 33. So there's a checkerboard board building. They even pick their own building for the ritual. You know, everything is to the T. I'm going to put that in there. 345 Park Avenue, which is 387 and 402. Let's see if we got any prime number relationships. None in that. 402 wouldn't be a prime number. 501. And we got 459. So those are not prime. But that's that. I put that 345 in there anyway. But it took place on Park Avenue, which is a big time avenue. Park Avenue 42, the Negro number. Park Avenue 57. So Park Avenue is even a part of this ritual, because remember we said that was a day with 42 numerology. So Park Avenue 42, where this ritual took place. Now he's casually walking down the street with what? An AR-15. AR-15, 20. Well, they didn't give me AR. They gave me WE. We want AR. And we're going to spell it AR. Thank you. AR-15. We're gonna spell it just like they spell it. So you see how AR-15 is 25 and 32, and we talked about 25 being what? Part of the number of death. So 25 is a number of death. 20. So when you see AR-15 is a weapon of destruction, is a weapon that kills. So that's the number of death. So AR-15, when you saw him coming down the street, you knew that there was going to be a death. You knew that there was about to be a death ritual when we saw the AR-15. Okay? So let's go to some names. We're going to go to Miss LaPartner. LaPatner, that's her name. LaPatner. That's the Blackstone employee. And the first, make sure we spell it right. Lepatner. So Lepatner is LaPatner. And you see how her name is 37 and 45. The kill code is in her name. It's like she's marked for death at some point. And she probably never knew with that name she might be marked for death one day. Who thinks that my name might mark me for death one day by this organization? But she was marked for death. She has the 37 on it. 37 is 12, the number of completion. See, 37 is a prime number. 12th prime number. When we talk about completion, we see the kill code right there. 91 is the 13th triangle number, the number of change. So she got caught up in a change ritual also. But see, she's got big time numbers attached to her name, LaPatner. And possibly she ended up being one of the targets of this this situation. And we can add in ritual. And ritual is 27. So that's the power of 27. Anytime you see the number 27 moving forward, 27 is always going to be attached to some form of ritual. Because ritual is the word, 27 is the word for ritual. And, you know, I'm having some problems with this. Yeah, I don't really like this. So accused gunman identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura. So we know Shane is the person in the ritual. Read it backwards. Don't read it forward. The ritual involved Shane Tamura. He died. So he sacrificed himself for the ritual, which was a checkerboard boy ritual done in a checkerboard boy building to kill whoever this person was, possibly Miss LaPatner. And we also get some on this young lady who was sacrificed in the building, Julie Hyman. Keeps taking away. That one site is kind of messing us up. And it's taking away everything. So Miss Hyman, I think it's that news site we got. It's making it regenerate. But see how Hyman is 25 and 20? So she was a part of the ritual sacrificing on the day of death. Because, like I say, this is the time of death. You see a lot tying into death. This is pretty much the time of death. 2025 is the time of death. And we'll see a lot of this going on right now. And I apologize for this, everybody. We got some good stuff in here. We want to keep it tomorrow. All right, so let's tie some of this stuff in. Everything we got. Ritual. We put Park Avenue in there. We had Midtown. had killed, because killed is the word they like to use. We can put killer in there. And the kill code, because it's all about the kill code. This was a day where the kill code was used a great deal. We got to put Miss LaPatner. Okay, Blackstone. Blackstone in there. And we'll put Rudin. And I apologize for today's video. I had it set the way I wanted it, but I think that one story on Fox kind of contaminated it. All right, so let's see the vibration and energy of this ritual. So Rudin, where this took place, 33rd floor. He just happens to blow his brains away on the checkerboard board floor. Anytime, like I said, we see the number 33, we know we got a 66 in there. So 66 usually talks about revelation, things like that. So we got 30 and 33. And I don't think there was any 30 numerology on that date. We can double check. It wasn't, but it was 60, 44. We got the kill code 35. So no matching numerology. So Rudin 33, we know that matches with where the suspect took his life. Blackstone is 30, Rudin is 30. So those things already vibrate with each other. Blackstone is 60. The shooting took place. The Blackstone employee was killed on a day with 60 numerology. Remember, energy must match for any ritual. Her name was LaPatner. LaPatner is 37, which is the 12th prime, and 44. Remember, this building is on 345, which is 12 Park Avenue. Story of completion. Zodiac is 12. The number 12 is the number of completion. There's 12 signs in the zodiac. So that completes a circle. Kill, 44, 17, 64, and 28. This shooting took place on what? July the 28th. So the kill code was in effect. 44 is the kill code. 17 is the kill code. If you watch any movies, you'll see 44, 17, 64, 28. They'll say this before a killing takes place, or when the killing has already taken place. It might take place on the 17th floor. Killer, 67, the 19th prime, 31, the 11th prime. 11 is a master number. 41, the 13th prime. Remember, 41 is a prime number. Killed, 53, 26, the God number. And remember, this took place on the day with a 26 numerology. The shooting took place on the 28th. There was 26 numerology on that date. Midtown, it took place in Midtown. Midtown 35, Midtown 37. That vibrates with our Blackstone, and the 35 vibrates with the date numerology, because that date had 35 numerology. 37 vibrates with LaPatner. LaPatner killed in Midtown. Killed vibrates with that. So LaPatner was killed in Midtown. So all that energy vibrated together on that day. Park Avenue, 29 to 10th prime, and 43 to 14th prime. Those are two prime numbers. Don't see any vibration with that, but we're still early in the game. Ritual, 27 and 45. So anytime you see the number 27, it is marked with ritual. So just be paying attention to whatever the situation is. And remember, the shooter was 27-year-old. So they're telling you this is a ritual. They're communicating. 27-year-old, this is a ritual. He's going to be a part of the ritual. They're communicating. 45 was a part of that too. Tamura, who is the shooter, 20. So he got the number of death tagged on him in 43 to 14 prime. That vibrates with, if you go up to Park Avenue, 43. Remember, he's casually walking down the street towards Park Avenue, casually with the AR-15. Death is 20 and 25. And Hyman is 25 and 20, so she matched up with the death code, making her part of the ritual. Remember, they have to take other life too as part of these rituals. Like I say, these folks believe this, so that's why they do it. Everything is ritualized. Excuse me. And then we close out with AR-15. So remember AR-15, 25, the number of death, the weapon of death is the AR-15. And so the minute you saw AR-15, you know he was going to spread death as a part of this ritual. So we know AR-15 is usually the number they use in ritual. 32. Was there any 32? Yes, AR-15, 32. Was there any other 32? I'm trying to. Didn't see any other 32, but let's check our date numerology. But see, we saw 35, no 32 as far as date numerology. Yeah, we didn't have any 32. All right. But those are the numbers. That's how the energy of numbers connected for that day. And we saw Miss LePatner was already targeted with the 44. So I believe, opinion only, she was the primary target for this ritual because she got the kill code stapled on her. The other young lady, Miss Hyman, I just think she was a part of a Death Day ritual. She just got caught up for extra energy in this ritual. We know that Tamura had the death code, and his first name was Shane. So let's use everything they give us. Shane. Shane is 2025, so he had death day code 47. Now remember we talked about the officer that worked at the 47th precinct, Shane, the number 47, which is the number foundation in checkerboard board world. Remember Euclid's 47th problem. So we're talking about foundational numbers. See, foundation is 47. Prophecy is 52. The foundation of whatever they're trying to do, 52. I remember they hit us early on with the 52, the prophecy code in that story. They gave us 52 real quick, and we'll read that before we close out, how they threw that 52 in it. So they pretty much built this ritual up. They were planning this ritual for a long period of time, and I think Miss LePatner might have came across some information she was not supposed to come across. Because if you go through these heights to take out a person or make it look a certain way, because they always got to make it look like the person was crazy. That's how they want these Manchurian candidates to seem, so they can throw you off the scent of who they were targeting, which through the power of Gematria, we can match down, hey, this is the person right here. This person is stapled with the kill code on that day. And everybody else is part of the energy for the ritual, which is the death energy that they need to build as they do this ritual. And they gave up so much. But after you've done this for so long, you know the numbers that they continuously use because they're communicating that number is a word. So a lot of times you'll see people dissect a thing based on a number. And I want you guys, does the number mean? I can tell you what 47, 52, yeah, you see this? Okay, what are they talking about? What's the communication? So the number in Gematria is a word. They're communicating the word. They're just using the number to do it. So anytime you see 47, you know that's the number of foundation. 52 is a foundation and prophecy. Because 52 is the number of prophecy. '29, the 10th prime, number of prophecy. So we just don't want numbers to be thrown at us. And we got a freeze on, so all right. We just don't want numbers to be thrown and we don't know what the hell this number represents because everything represents something. So pretty much this is the tie-in to the story that we got. So I think Miss LePatner was the target. Just my opinion. I think, she was the person targeted. And, closing out with this story, see how they did? It was on the 50 Park Avenue at 52nd Street, the prophecy. And remember, this is a Rudin building. So this is a checkerboard board building. So they did this in their own building. Remember, they really tied this ritual on strong. Okay. But these are all our numbers, everything connected to this ritual. And definitely when you break these rituals down, look for the common things. Shootings, look for AR-15. Look for your 33s. Look for your 52s. Look for your 27. Now that you know 27 is a number of ritual, look for a 27. If they throw it in there, he used the number 4. We're not going to use the actual number, but we're going to use 4. We're going to spell it out. 4 is 24 and 21. Okay, and 60. So we know this took place on the day with 60 numerology. 24, we can vibrate that. See if I can find any 24 in our story. And we'll look at date numerology. 21 date numerology. I didn't see any 21. Let's look at date numerology for that day and see. All right, yeah, so that's what it is. So 24, that was date numerology for that day. That was the tie-in with that 24. And we can come off of this because it's acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So that 4 tied in with date numerology. So 4 people were targeted on a day with 24 date numerology. So that connects the ritual. So the numerology energy must match with the energy of the day, and the code or the language is gematria. That's the language. They're going to speak to you through numbers or speak to each other through numbers just to inform each other this was the ritual, this was the target, this person was sacrificed for God knows whatever. And it appears that Blackstone is behind this, allegedly, who knows, allegedly connected with Miss LePatner being a Blackstone employee. Who knows what she found? She might have found something that was very important. Remember, this is a $1 trillion corporation. God knows what they might have had, what they might have been had, and unfortunately, what that young lady might have stumbled up across. This is the sickness of our society, ladies and gentlemen. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So we're practicing learning how to see. It doesn't take many of us to teach others how to see. We just need to learn how to see their communication and hear. Because, this technology can end at any time. That does not mean language. It's not going to end. And sight, vision, if you're blessed to keep your vision, you're blessed to keep your hearing, listen to what they're saying. And now you have an understanding with the prime number system and basic numbers that they use. Anytime you see 13 in the story, you know it's a malarkey because 13 is the number of change. So you already know that's a ritualistic story. Okay? So let's just be more aware of what's going on with these stories, how they set up these rituals, the idea of the Manchurian Candidate. Go back and watch the Frank Sinatra movie, Manchurian Candidate. I do not like Denzel's movie, The Manchurian Candidate. The best Manchurian Candidate movie is the Frank Sinatra movie. Frank Sinatra is excellent in that movie. Go back and watch that with Frank Sinatra. It's a movie called Manchurian Candidate. It has the lady from Murder, She Wrote in it. She does an excellent job in that movie. It's a great movie to kind of get you to understand programs like this, how they came about programs like this, and how they use programs like this to cover up what they want to do, because it's not obvious because you're so busy thinking about mental health, guy with gun who casually is walking down a New York street, Park Avenue, which is not a small street. He's casually walking down the street, jumps out of BMW with an AR-15. For those who live in New York, people just don't casually walk down the street with AR-15. But New York is the place where people might just get the fuck out of the way. Who knows? But he just casually walks down the street with his AR-15, in the building, and just starts firing. I mean, come on, man. Come on. This is ritualistic if not. But, that's why they use people like that, to throw you off the scent of what's the target? Why is he in this building? Why did he kill himself? Who was he after? Because he was after somebody. He knew exactly where to go. So he was after somebody. He passed up a whole bunch of cities to come to this one building. So be very mindful of what you're reading and what's going on. Mr. Mokti, Back Row Ministry. Be safe. Peace and hungry.